Welcome to Complexity Made Simple, and my name is Paul Allen. And before we get into today's fantastic video newsletter, what I'd like to talk to you about is all the materials that you can purchase to help to support the channel. We've got these fantastic textbooks that range from the simple statistical process control for small batch production. We've got the 7 quality tools for world-class problem solving, which is essentially yellow belt material. Then we move on to design of experiments for 21st century engineers. Every engineer and scientist needs to be able to do design of experiments. And then finally, drink tea and read the paper. The most fantastic green belt handbook you can buy on the market today, full of practical tips and fantastic physics that'll help you become a world-class engineer and a world-class quality engineer. Of course, you can also click on the link to buy me a coffee and make a donation. That would be fantastic. But at the very least, click on subscribe, click on like the video, because it all helps to support the channel. Many thanks for your help, and now on to today's video. Welcome to the latest video. And in this video newsletter, what we're going to talk about is, if you've got quality problems, senior management, it's all your fault. All right, so they say 90% of quality is senior management's fault. And that is what we're going to talk about. I would say it's maybe even more than that. But anyway, so in order to understand my statement, and in order to understand what we're about to talk about, you've got to understand the physics of a process and the types of problem you could have. Because there's 2 types of issue that you can have. You can have a process that isn't capable. In other words, what you've done, you've centered the process. So your process aim is perfect. The average result for the machine will land on the target that the tolerance requests. But there's so much variability that the machine produces defects anyway. As a run chart, it would look sort of like this, as the tolerance is. So we're not touching the machine. I got my hands off the machine, and it doesn't matter what I do, I'm going to make defects because I can't stop the machine just swinging around from top to bottom on the tolerance. But the other type of physics, of course, is about the aim. So in other words, you've got a really good machine. You've got a machine that looks like this. Now it's looking like that. Tolerance looks like that. And we're sitting up there by one of the tolerances. What's wrong here is the aim. We need to put that on the target, then take our hands off, drink tea and read the paper. This is the responsibility of local management. We could call that the operator. Think about it. There's only one thing an operator can do, or indeed a technician. They have a dial in their hand. They can twizzle the dial backwards and forwards. All they can do is make the result swing left or right. That's all they're capable of. Their process is as simple can be. Now here would be the question. Senior management. If you've given your operators or your technicians this beautifully capable process, do you think your technical staff are so stupid that they can't land it on the target, or at least sit it inside the tolerance, have an easy day and sit at the machine reading the paper? If you'd given them this, you wouldn't have any quality problems. However, this problem is your responsibility, senior management. You did that to your operators. Now, if an operator seeing a defect here reacts to it, what will your operator do? They'll swing it left. What do? They can only make it worse. But the problem wasn't created by them. The problem was created by you, because let's look at a process. You see, a process looks like this. You're trying to make money. So you've got a money-making machine. It's got inputs. And it's got an output. If you don't want the output to vary massively, you've got to control all the inputs. Now, what's the operator in charge of? Well, they're in charge of settings. Now, really, should settings move? Not really, because once you dial in a speed and a feed and a temperature and an angle or whatever, and you take your hands off, does it move? No. So there should be no variability as far as the operator is concerned. However, when I ask you about maintenance rules, how often is the maintenance done? How many maintenance technicians have you got? If you've got an urgent order or urgent maintenance to do, which one do you do? Do you float the maintenance? Now, is the maintenance the operator's responsibility? No. If you've got half the number of maintenance staff on site, who made that decision? You did. You created this mess with your lack of maintenance. What else? How about raw material? Maybe you've bought raw material that's particularly variable and is adding to the problem. Can the operator do anything about that? No. The only thing they're responsible for is the aim. What else? Okay, let's say which cutting tool you're purchasing. So you've decided to cut the budget on the cutting tools and buy cheaper cutting tools. Can the operator do anything about that? No. They just get this mess and you expect them to dig you out of the problem. The operator can't dig you out of the problem. All they can do is make it worse. Now, I could go on with these variables. There are, I don't know, the type of machine that you use, the type of machine that you've bought. That was a senior management decision. What else could it be? It could be, I don't know, the amount of training we give people. That's a senior management decision. The operator only had these to deal with. And these never move. If you take your hands off, they don't move. But all of this creates variability that gives you this, and then the operator makes it worse. Now, they say in companies that have quality problems, 90% of your problems look like this. 90% of your quality problems were made by senior management's policy decisions. If you think your operator can dig you out of this problem after you've made those poor policy decisions, you're toast. What you need to do is give them brilliant, capable processes, let them set the aim, dead on the nominal, then they can drink tea, read the paper, and you can count the cash. Senior management, sort out the quality problems that relate to your policies and procedures.